Hello and welcome to Universe Mode. This is ECW and you can quell your worries. You do not need to panic no longer. You do not need to confuse yourself with this being a show akin to the chaos of SmackDown Live, because it won't be. This is the A show for one, and a show that is led by the best general manager around, yours truly, and the best champion, best superstar, and best in general, the greatest of all time, of course, Seth Rollins. But Rollins will not be competing tonight. No, Rollins will be watching closely. He sat in this commentary box with me, but he won't say a word. He is watching the action that we'll see here tonight on this episode of ECW, and I have something to admit for you all. Every match here tonight has someone who is going to be either a draft pick coming from NXT or something a little bit different, if you know what I mean. But it is the main event that we want to focus on here tonight. There's a great match all around. It's great cards, great matches from top to bottom. But this is the match right to the top that we waited to see. You knew I couldn't sleep on this guy, and I couldn't wait to get him in the ring. I said when we picked him, we won the draft, and I still assert that claim. The two-time King of the Ring winner, Kenny Omega, the former Intercontinental Champion, the cleaner, the god of professional wrestling as he believes him to be, makes his ECW debut here tonight against Neville. Is that going to be incredible or what? I know already your answer is yes. But before we can get to that hellacious main event, we are going to go right into the action in the Cruiserweight division, because TJP is welcoming someone new to that division. So let us start with the A show right about now. And you don't need to panic, because this isn't the man being introduced to the Cruiserweight division. I know you've seen, like, none of him, but, it's not the guy, so don't worry. TJP, though, will assist us in welcoming him. And he'll hit that dab, of course. This is why he is in this part of the Cruiserweight division. TJP makes his way down to the ring. I don't think he didn't have any involvement in the, draft last week. Didn't get drafted away. He still remains here on the brand, of course, where he pretty much, no offense to TJP, but the only title he stands really a chance of winning is on here. I do not think the Perkins is of the talent level, maybe, you know, not right now, but maybe at a later date, to go for the ECW Television Championship. Certainly nowhere near Seth Rollins to go for the ECW Championship, and if he was to go to another brand, I don't think he'd be able to keep up with the likes of Daniel Bryan as US Champ, Finn Balor as Intercontinental Champ, etc., etc. However, TJP would of course like to be Cruiserweight Champion, but so too would his opponent, who makes his debut here on ECW. From NXT, we've brought in Cedric Alexander. I know it is not a heavy machinery, and certainly not a DCC, but Cedric Alexander is a fine athlete in his own right, and a guy who I'd had my eye on from the moment he was making waves in NXT. I knew he had the potential to be something special. I knew he had the potential to do something in this division, and I have decided to not wait around any longer, and I am making that move right now for Cedric. And it will be TJP who will assist us in welcoming Cedric Alexander to NXT. To ECW. From NXT. On the big stage now, on the A show. Cedric Alexander, let's see what he can do to show that this was a smart choice by me, and why I went with him and not maybe some other choices that I could have gone for. You know, a Tyler Bate or someone along those lines maybe in that division. You see there, though, TJP more than welcoming to Cedric in this division. A handshake before we get things underway now. Let's see what Cedric Alexander can do here in his debut on ECW. Let's see how TJP can try to overcome him here. Because I haven't exactly, you know, I haven't just given him TJP for an easy win or anything like that. I know TJP can be a tough challenge. I've seen him be a tough nut to crack against other opponents. So Cedric Alexander needs to succeed against him. Cedric, though, looking to do just that as he gets things going here. Cedric relying on his strength right now. and the more powerful moves he can possess, but there was a very nicely executed drop kick to the back. Alexander to the top rope. Frog splash, but TJP trying to move out the way. Cedric didn't exactly get all of it. TJP, though, ain't exactly quick getting up to his feet. Elbow into the back as well as he tries to move away there. Cedric was trying to get something going, but TJP denied it. Oh, what a leaping kick there by TJP. There's something that TJP would love to do right now. It is play spoiler on a great debut for Cedric Alexander. Nice strength being shown there by Cedric to execute that with ease. Cedric now. Split-legged moonsault to TJP, and into the cover he goes now, hoping for victory. Only a 1 count, though. You know, with all the talent in the Cruiserweight division, you look at it, you've got guys like... guys like the Cruiserweight champion, Austin Aries. Zack Sabre Jr., of course, who has come close, who has still got his business to attend to with a double. TJP, Jack Gallagher, Akira Tozawa. There are a great many lists of names who can be champion in that Cruiserweight division. Cedric Alexander has to do his best to try and stand out from them and make sure that he can get to the top of the pile. That's kind of transitioned into a Cobra Clutch neck breaker there. TJP now from behind. Oh, with a double underhook gutbuster there. And now TJP, will he look for the detonation kick? Will he look for the TJP clutch? He's going to get neither of them. Cedric able to counter his way out. And again, Cedric feels it within him to go to the top rope here. Cedric from up high. Double axe handle. Clashed it down on the back there. Might have been thinking something else, but just didn't get the time to execute it. Cedric, this time, gets a big-time frog splash on TJP, who was in the ropes. That being said, though, that detonation kick may have been TJP's strongest chance of winning, and it's kind of all gone now. TJP being called up to his feet by Cedric Alexander. Flying clothesline, connected with it. And we know what that'll lead into for Cedric Alexander. TJP doesn't know where he is, but Cedric does. Lumbar check. And a firm welcome to ECW just got planted with it. 1, 2. Oh, TJP kicking out. I don't think Cedric anticipated that happening. Oh, but Cedric wants to take care of business now. TJP may have forced Cedric to go for something else, and indeed he has. Brain buster by Cedric Alexander. You're making your way out of one. You're not getting out of the second. And may have been a calling to the Cruiserweight champion, who that is a signature maneuver of. Cedric Alexander is your winner over TJP in his ECW debut. And he seems awfully pleased with it. Great job for Cedric Alexander there. The debut I was looking for. He didn't have to, he didn't have to try and just knock this thing out in 35 seconds. He had to endure it. He had to take a beating. He had to show his strength. And indeed he did right there. Good stuff for Cedric Alexander on his ECW debut. More I hope to see of him in the future, performing actions like that. It doesn't matter who may be above him in the division. It doesn't matter if it may be a Jack Gallagher, an Akira Tozawa, or even, of course, Zack Sabre Jr. and Austin Aries. Cedric Alexander should have the eye of everyone, and everyone should have the eye of Cedric. Great stuff there, but the night continues on, and we move on to our next match now. I said that one would be a little bit of a tougher match for them to overcome. Well, this one's certainly going to be a very, very tough one. This one's going to be a fight between these two competitors. It's Samoa Joe, and you'll find out. Well, this match is much in the same breath like the last one. I know this guy can fight. I know he's I want him to have a tough match. I want him to have a tough introduction on ECW. I'm not here to give these guys, a a soft way into the scene. They've got to fight for it, and I know this guy is going to fight for it. I know this guy is going to give it his all to be victorious, and I know he's not getting it easy by having Samoa Joe. No way is he having it easy by getting Samoa Joe. This is the caliber of talent I want this man to be fighting. This is the caliber of athlete that I want to see this man trying to beat. If he comes up on the short end, I wouldn't even be sad. Because so long as he tries to fight Samoa Joe, he's shown he deserves to stand on ECW. And Joe is going to have one hell of an opponent facing him here tonight. These two men have had their altercations in the past, both in and out of this universe. And they'll have another match here tonight to continue things on. We took another from NXT. Let me show you who it was. Ah, yes. Yes, 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 indeed. Kurt Angle. You're on ECW. Welcome to the A-Show. One of the best wrestlers there have ever been. The Olympic gold medalist, and a man who I know has already shown his devotion. When we met up a few hours before this show started to show his introduction to ECW, well, he showed his devotion to this brand right then and there, and even brought a smile to Seth Rollins' face when I showed him it. The gum shield of Kurt Angle reads ECW. And now he shows his value to this brand by putting on this match with Samoa Joe. This could have main evented this show. I know. I am well aware, but come on. Come on. You think I can hold out on putting on these huge matches? You think there was a part of me that didn't want to just go all out and put Seth Rollins and Kenny Omega on here tonight? All in due time. For some. Not, though. Not for this one. This one is going to start right here, right now. Buckle up. We're going to have a huge, hard-hitting affair. Bell rings and we're underway. Like I said, these two men have met in the past, and they are continuing on here on ECW. Clean break in the corner. These two men know each other very well. They know how to get the better of the other. And they also know how to play mind games with one another. And speak of it, Samoa Joe just did so right there with a quick jab in the face of Kurt Angle. And now a hard welcoming back to the main roster for Kurt Angle. Maybe not. Look at that. Turns the leg around. Oh, German suplex by Angle. Joe taking quite a bit aback by it there. Kurt Angle is showing that he hasn't lost a spring in his step. The former NXT Global Champion, a man who brought a lot of honor to that belt before he was defeated for it at Takeover. And when I saw that he was no longer a champion, well, I couldn't wait any longer to see the caliber of matches that guy had been putting on in NXT. He just deserved one more run in the big leagues, I think. I don't know how much longer Angle has left in his career, but it had to be on ECW where I was going to make him close it out. I couldn't afford to let him go to Raw or SmackDown. I knew I'd be suffering a huge loss in letting that happen. ECW is where he needed to be, putting on stellar matches every single week. Angle there with a good counter. Oh, what a forearm in the back there. Angle, of course, giving up a little bit of weight disadvantage to Samoa Joe, but that's never stopped him before. That certainly never stopped him winning his Olympic gold medal either. Oh, look at the strength of Kurt Angle. Powerbomb there. That was great. Samoa Joe, I don't think he knows that Kurt Angle is right underneath him right now. Frog splash into the back. Joe, though, got right up to his feet from it. But Angle able to counter back right away here. These two men going back and forth with one another. Look at the strength of Kurt Angle with that capture suplex. And Joe again, needing a moment to recover, goes to the apron. Kurt Angle, I was expecting him to maybe return the favor. You saw Joe's overhead belly to belly from the ropes. from the apron rather earlier. Angle decided not to return. Maybe returning the favour for that cheap shot at the start of the match, as Joe once again has to take a moment to recover here. Referee, held Angle back, and Joe jumped in, take that advantage, make no mistake about it. Joe doesn't care if the fans cheer or boo him, he's out there to fight every single week. And what is amazing me about this match right now is that neither man is able to stay down for too long. Both men rushing themselves up to their feet to keep fighting here. Joe with a sent-on splash now. And into the cover goes the two-time world champion, hoping of being able to put away Kurt Angle, but it wasn't the case. Some strikes here being inflicted by Samoa Joe. Got him locked in. Oh, what are we going to see now from Joe? Oh, good God! Has him up in that tie clinch, and just knees being inflicted into the head of Kurt Angle. Samoa Joe feeling awfully confident about that. That can certainly do a number on you no matter who you are. Kurt Angle only just come off enduring months of fighting with Big Show and Pete Dunne. And he goes right from their hard strikes to the hard strikes of Samoa Joe. But Kurt Angle's got to try and prove himself here. This is great going so far. Oh, into that ring pole again went Samoa Joe. These two men who are enjoying their fight on the outside here. Joe's going to be the one to throw them back in, though. That says a lot about the endurance of Samoa Joe and how much he can afford to take when it comes to being struck. Joe now cornering Zaguri. Angle was out of it there, tried to stay up on his feet but couldn't. Samoa Joe smells a glorious opportunity to spoil this debut, and he stitches it in. Coquina clutch on Kurt Angle. Can Kurt Angle be brought to submission here? Can Samoa Joe pull off a huge upset in Angle's ECW debut? He's got it locked in deep, but Kurt Angle will not tap out. He's been in that hold from Joe before. He ain't submitting now. He can't afford to submit. Too much is on the line, but Joe knows that as well. Oh, what strikes there by Samoa Joe. And oh my goodness, the big man is going up to the top rope. Samoa Joe misses with that sent-on splash, however. And this could be Kurt Angle's moment to capitalize. Angle going to look for that powerbomb again. And even after all that he has endured, he hangs in there. Angle to the top rope now. Oh, don't tell me we are going to see it. Angle. No, I thought he was going for that moonsault. Instead, went for the elbow drop. Cover on Joe, who's powering out still as early as the count to 1. Angle now, looking to return the favour, for the Coquina clutch. Kurt Angle with the ankle lock, and as it clamped down on Joe so he can't reach the ropes. They're right in front of Samoa Joe, but he can't make it there. Kurt Angle is doing his best to deny him that chance. Samoa Joe is in pain, but he is still continuing to fight. Joe turns it over and slowly kicking his way out of that one. God, these two men know each other so well that it is too tough to try and pick a winner. German suplex by Angle. And now Angle into the cover to hope it's enough. Not a chance. I think Angle knew that, though. Deep down, I think Angle knew it wasn't going to be enough. Joe back up to his feet here. From behind, Angle counters. From behind, Joe counters. No escape. Straight jacket German suplex with a bridge to follow. Is Angle done for? No, he kicked at it too. This match has been absolutely outstanding, I've got to say so. Back and forth fight between these two men, risking everything to be the winner. They've just been firing slugs at one another, essentially. It's all about which one can afford to give in first. That body lock applied there, and look at how Joe responds to it. Elbowing his way out. Oh, but the leg gets caught, and another trip, another German suplex is on its way. Joe crawling around now. He may have been hit hard by that one. He seems a little lost. Angle in for another cover here. Once again, following a German suplex, looks for victory but denied it. Angle getting almost down, I guess, down and dirty in a way with his strike shit of Samoa Joe. Having to sacrifice some of his Olympic credibility there just for victory. Samoa Joe, though, has no Olympic credibility. Samoa Joe can just fire shots off like that whenever he wants. Because that's what you expect from Samoa Joe. Oh, good God. Buckle bomb. Samoa Joe now into Dragon Suplex right after that buckle bomb. Is it enough? Kurt Angle says no. Joe is starting to run through his options now. His chance of victory is starting to run thin. Headbutt by Angle. And another power bomb, yeah, for Samoa Joe to endure. Kurt Angle, he smells a chance. He sees it as well. That opportunity right in front of him. Triple Germans on its way. Samoa Joe is trapped at the clutches of Kurt Angle. Triple German suplexes. Kurt Angle knows what it takes to close this one out. And here it comes. Angle grabs Joe. Angle slam into the cover. 1, 2, 3. Kurt Angle is victorious over Samoa Joe. And wow, that was the fight I anticipated. Joe gave him almost everything he could find within him. And Kurt Angle showed, though, that not only does the gum shield read ECW, but Kurt Angle does as well. What a victory that one was in this ECW run for Kurt Angle. What a great way to kick off his career here. And there, for your evening, are our NXT picks. Cedric Alexander and Kurt Angle, now members of the A Show. And if they're going to be putting on matches like that week in and week out, especially in the case of Kurt Angle, I think I picked well, not going to lie. Anyway, from one incredible technical wrestler to another, we move on, and it's going to be a very entertaining matchup as well. Two great athletes, but one who, of course, is going to get the centerfold of the attention. It's the Four Horsemen's Roderick Strong against the man making his in-ring return after what feels like about 4 months out. It is the man who ended Bobby Fish's 390-day run as WWE Champion. It is the former WWE Champion in his own right. It is Kyle O'Reilly back in action. So, with the NXT picks done, it's now time to get to the draft picks. And yep, I'm happy for this one. I'm glad that this man returns to action, and I'm so glad it's on ECW as well. Roderick Strong was picked for the Battle Royal, if I remember rightly. I think he was picked for the Raw one. And the fact that he was picked for the Raw one tells me why I don't remember that much about him, because I don't think he did that much. He was no Akira Tozawa in that one. Or John Cena, for that matter. But Roderick Strong, though, and Kyle O'Reilly, two very talented athletes in their own right. Strong, of course, a member of the Four Horsemen, looking to kind of assist Chris Jericho in leading it forward in its career. To put into perspective the way we can look at it, this modern iteration of the Four Horsemen, think of Roddy Strong akin to the Arn Anderson. He's not the leader, but he's always there, and he's always willing to enforce if needs be. That's what Roddy Strong is. And that's why he's the one to welcome this man back to action. After 4 months away, he has returned. Kyle O'Reilly is back. And he looks as if he hasn't missed a beat. Put out by Kevin Owens on SmackDown Live. Sure, O'Reilly would have loved to get his revenge on him. But it's a new time. It's a new era for Kyle O'Reilly. No longer does he have to think about sharing a brand with a guy who he tried to who tried to end his career for 2 years with a guy who he was the sworn enemy of for life at this point. But those are behind him. Those days are gone. It is now time for Kyle O'Reilly to step out of being the guy who fought with Bobby Fish and vice versa. It is time for Kyle O'Reilly to be his own man. And this is the place where men are made. Look at the caliber of athletes we have. Look at Roddy Strong. Look at Neville. Look at Zack Sabre Jr. Look at Seth Rollins. They all tell the story of how men are made on this brand. And Kyle O'Reilly, I see as one of them. And so we begin. This one underway now between these two talented athletes. Once again, like every other match, you know what I'm going to say. I expect this to be a tough match. I expect this to be a back and forth match. I don't expect this to be an affair where Roddy Strong walks over Kyle O'Reilly and vice versa. Nor would I expect this to be an affair like that one, in all honesty. O'Reilly's had 4 months out of the ring. Roddy can certainly use that to his advantage in an attempt to be victorious here. And kind of do something to really upset Kyle O'Reilly's chances of starting his time on ECW successfully. But O'Reilly doesn't want that to be the case. Going to the ropes here. What the hell has he got in mind? Oh! Fireman's carry cut into the ropes there by O'Reilly. That was very interesting to see. I like that one. And now we quickly go on the outside here. But O'Reilly not looking to use the outside there for its main intent and purpose. Just wanted to strike a quick kick on Roddy and back in we go. These two men really starting to swing at one another, and another angle slam for us to see there. Oh, what a hard drop kick in the back that one was. Roddy Strong doing good stuff right now though. In the early stages of this match. Great elbow drop there. Got it right over the chest and the neck. Well, although the neck, of course, of O'Reilly is someplace he's going to want to guard after the apron powerbomb of Kevin Owens was the reason why he missed almost a third of this year. In fact, no, I will say a third of this year. Almost a quarter of this year is what I actually meant. Missed due to what Kevin Owens did. Keep going here in this one, though. O'Reilly from behind. Great speed there. A duck under. Back suplex. And hangs on as well. Into a German suplex. Hangs on again. Rolls it through. Suplex. Incredible by O'Reilly. Absolutely phenomenal. There is no one like Kyle O'Reilly. But goddamn, there are people who can be put in the same boat, I guess. You know, similarities they share with Kyle O'Reilly, but definitely are not Kyle O'Reilly. And they are on the ECW roster, and I would love to see him face some of them. Imagine him facing the likes of Zack Sabre Jr., Aleister Black, Minoru Suzuki. Just those matches spring into mind off the top of my head. Oh, but Roddy Strong right now should be the main intent, focus and purpose of Kyle O'Reilly here, because he could be in deep trouble. Roddy wanted end of heartache there, but O'Reilly did his best to deny that from happening. Got the leg gripped in now. Recoplex connected with it. Middle of the ring. Roddy Strong is in, but he kicks at it too. Let's see what else both men can go for in this one. The end of heartache may not have connected, but still, O'Reilly's got his own things to look for. Kyle O'Reilly. Oh, superplex. Rolls through, though. Falcon Arrow. A move taken directly from the book of the ECW champion. In the turnbuckle now goes Roddy once again. O'Reilly prepped up for something here. Leaps over sunset flip now and a cover that follows. There's 1, 2 and a kick out. O'Reilly had something prepped up there, but Roddy did his best to counter it. Cover 2 and a kick out. These two men really going back and forth with one another, and again O'Reilly sees the back opening up there, pump handle, back suplex. Innovative offense there of O'Reilly, shining through in that moment. Kyle O'Reilly now grips the arm of Roddy Strong, follows through with an armbar here, locked in on Roddy, looking for that submission victory. Is it going to be enough to secure it with Roddy Strong? Yes, he will. Chasing the dragon, it was locked. But what an armbar that was, locked in by O'Reilly. So deep that Roddy had no choice but to submit or risk his arm popping out of socket. Kyle O'Reilly is your winner in his return to this universe, return from injury, and ECW debut. The former WWE champion can be proud of himself for that one. And right from the bat, I believe O'Reilly can set his sights on better, on bigger and better. This does not simply just mean matches against the likes of Aleister Black, Sabre Jr. and Suzuki. I'm talking titles, I'm talking money in the bank, I'm talking big matches against big talents. But there we go. Showed his value and showed that even after 4 months really, he hasn't lost a spring in his step. Victory there for O'Reilly, but we move on now to our next contest, a tag team match. This one should be a good one. It is going to be the team of Gregory, Helms and Tony Nese against Sami Callihan. And, yeah, another surprise in store, apparently. And there you see Helms and Nese already occupying the ring, as this man also makes his ECW return. He was put on the shelf a long time ago by Braun Strowman, I believe just after the Royal Rumble, really. Callihan realized that he needed to take time off, and take time off he did. He has returned here tonight, and in tag team action though, which particularly weirds me out for the Callihan Death Machine. What could he possibly have in store for us that involves a tag team match, that involves a partner aligning themselves with Sami Callihan? He's a guy who's very off the radar, so I'm wondering what that could possibly mean. As Callihan stands in the ring now. Oh, okay, he's going for the microphone. That may help. And Sami Callihan addressing something that I was on about before, how great it feels to be back. Well, Callihan knows that he's got to make an impact for himself on ECW, and it feels like on his own might not be the way to go about it. That's why he's brought in someone for us all to look at. Someone for us all to be surprised by. Oh, good God almighty. Sami Callihan drops a bombshell and gives us Switchblade. And here he comes. Switchblade Jay White. So this was the surprise we had waited for this whole time. This was the partner of his choosing. This is the man Sami Callihan aligns himself with. Two men who love that fear, who love that force of anarchy, who love seeing pain on their opponent's face and love being the one to inflict it. Switchblade has arrived. Oh, what does this mean for ECW? What does it mean for the tag team division as well if these two men are together? And what the hell does it mean for Nese and Helms here tonight? Switchblade Jay White is here. He's with Sami Callihan. Oh my goodness. What? Wait. How? And so here we go. Callihan and Helms will kick this one off. Although I'm not sure if I were Helms or Nese, I'd really want to be in that ring in general. Callihan been waiting, been chomping at the bit to get back in the ring, and now that opportunity presents it. But so too does the chance to show what his new tag team partner is capable of. Callihan makes the tag here. In comes Switchblade Jay White. Oh, these two men on the same page. Early goings. A move taken right from the repertoire of the ECW Tag Team Champions DIY. But now we see what Jay White here can cause. Now we see how he can change up the fray. Jay White, the legal man, and off to a quick start here against Gregory Helms, who already looks to try and tag into his partner. Stuff the forearm there. Gets a crucifix on Jay White, but not sure how much. I'm not sure how long that'll keep him down for. As Tony Nese, though, does become the legal man in this one. Oh, but very quickly countered by Switchblade. And he'll connect with a neck breaker of his own. This man traveled around the world before he found really what made him him. What made Jay White the person he knew he could be. And once he found that within him, Switchblade was born. And we're seeing it exerted right here on ECW, with a man as I don't want to say mentally deranged, because that sounds quite insulting, but certainly deranged in his own right is Sami Callihan, a man who loves to inflict pain. As I said when White came out towards the ring, both these men love seeing their opponents in pain and love knowing that they were the ones who inflicted it. On top of all of that, Callihan up high. Oh, just flew himself in with that clothesline. Helms will get the tag in here. I'm not too sure how much he really wants to be the legal man, as Switchblade was also tagged in as well. Nese just dropped to the floor there. Look at the pure strength of Jay White. With ease, he executes that. And just viciously starts attacking the arm of Gregory Helms as well. In the turnbuckle. Oh! Flying forearm. And now the throat just being choked essentially by Gregory Helms. Switchblade is sadistic in his own right. And now here comes Kiwi Crusher from Jay White. He got it down on the money, planted Helms, but oh, the kick out there kept this one alive. What a lariat that one was. That'll send Nese on his way in time just for Blade Runner. 1, 2, 3. There is your welcoming. Oh, that was so fast for these two men, picking apart their opponents. And the job is well done. Switchblade and Sami Callihan are victorious. That was so quick. Just way too quick for these two men. And that just goes to show, if these guys are able to do this week in and week out, how dangerous they can be. This is a new duo to make its head, to poke its head around the corner really and see the ECW Tag Team Division in sight. But above all else, Jay White is a member of the ECW roster as of the moment he goes backstage after the show is done and I sign him down to that contract. Well, that was something. That's what a surprise can really do for you. And I'll tell you what, it was a surprise at the end of the televised draft when that big of a pick was called. We knew it was going to be a big pick. Well, let's be honest, I'll even admit it, deep down I didn't know it was going to be him. Neville will be the one to welcome him. Kenny Omega on ECW next. Let the hype train be fully prepared for what we're about to witness. Even though we have him making his debut, it's the match that's going to happen as well that I think really sets it in stone. Neville and Kenny Omega. Two men very talented. Neville is the king of the cruiserweights, of course. Or the man who calls himself the king of the cruiserweights, while Kenny Omega is a two-time king of the ring. It is the two kings meeting, and we kind of get to find out who the true king really is out of these two men. Neville looks ready, prepped up and ready for this one. He knows, of course, as myself and the rest of the British Alliance do, that no matter what happens here tonight, good things are destined to come their way. And the fact of that is because of what happened on the draft. Drew McIntyre winning 2 draft picks for ECW, and I said if the British Empire were able to get a win, good things would come their way for all 3 of them. So he has that for him, but you know Neville's not going to be a guy to just throw away a match. You know he wants this win. He wants to be the big spoiler for this pick. He wants to throw it all away and throw away the hopes of this man succeeding, but I honestly don't see it happening. Oh my god, Kenny Omega is on my show. Oh. This is real. This is actually happening. I love it. I can't put it into enough joyous words. Kenny Omega is on this brand. Just... Why am I so lucky? Why am I so lucky in life? I don't know. You know, ECW got CM Punk. No, ECW Raw got CM Punk. Oh, good for them. SmackDown got quite a lot of people, to be fair. Oh, good for them. I had Kenny Omega. I don't need CM Punk. I don't need your Shibatas. I don't need your DCCs, your Gorillas of Destiny. I've got Kenny Omega. You just put that into perspective. I have a man who, Raw got a guy who has made himself great. The key word there being made. I have a guy who is making himself great. I have a guy who is a star and isn't world champion yet. I have a guy who beat CM Punk. Let us not forget. Long way ago, pretty much almost a year ago at this point. But it still remains true that he beat CM Punk. And now we're underway in this main event. Omega's ECW debut against Neville. That little backslide there may have been just to try and catch Neville off guard. He knew he couldn't get it because the referee got clipped by the attempted Phoenix Splash. Single underhook. Brainbuster there by Kenny Omega. Smashed him on his dome. You know, he's without his elite. Without his elite family, without his brothers in the Young Bucks. They stayed on SmackDown, but Kenny Omega has got to, if he wants to change the world and if he wants to call himself what he believes to be, he has to do it on his own. And I still think, you know, it doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter who he's aligned himself with or if he even is aligned himself with anyone. Kenny Omega's got to do that by himself, and he knows that deep down inside. Omega sees Neville. Shoulder tackle there to bring him down. Look at the speed in which Omega's working at. Frog splash to the outside. Neville is a tough worker. Neville's a fighter. But even he right now is struggling with Kenny Omega. Sit out powerbomb there by the King of the Ring. Omega. What a moonsault there. Caught him right in the collarbones, really. Well, no, the shoulder blades even. So that would have hurt him as well. But he's right back up to his feet. Looked for a leaping knee there. Maybe in a V-trigger. But was denied it. Neville now quickly turns this pace around. Trying to slow it down here as well as what we've seen from Neville. Trying to stop Kenny Omega from his runaway freight train of offense. But Omega quick to counter. Oh, reverse Hurricanrana. Absolutely planted him there. All Neville's weight just crashing down on his neck. Omega looked to go in the corner again. They missed it. Neville now with a prime opportunity. Regal Plex connected with it. Quick cover here now by Neville, but Omega showing him why he's king of the ring and why there's a long way to go in this main event here. Back in the ring we go. Neville caught with that lariat, but didn't go down. Oh, but he might to this one. No, sticks the landing there. That was incredible by Neville. Oh, and a kick in the back. Great stuff by Neville there, I'll give him credit. By no means, you know, should Kenny Omega be dominating this match, and he certainly isn't. Neville has shown what it means to go against the grain. Longest reigning Cruiserweight champion in this universe, but that isn't what Neville wants to be known as. He wants to be known as the man who becomes ECW champion. He wants to be known as the leader of the British Empire. Cover here, but Omega still kicking out early. And make no mistake about it, when Omega was on SmackDown Live in his own way, he did his best to make sure he was vilified. He made sure that, you know, to not have the crowd on his side. But so far here in San Antonio, the crowd have certainly been siding with Kenny Omega. And it's tough to not want to side with Kenny Omega. Oh, what a strike there. Omega now sees an opportunity presented and he goes after the back there. Striking away on Neville. Oh, got him there. Would you classify that one as a V-trigger? I'm not too sure, but that knee corked him and a 2 count was what followed. Up and over the top rope now goes Neville again. Sunset flip a moment ago. Will now back suplex on the apron. Connected with it. Kenny Omega is firing away here at Neville. Making an emphatic debut for himself on ECW. Went for a super kick against the barricade. Neville moved out of the way. Up on the shoulders now. Oh, planted him face first. What strength there. Fireman's carry face buster. Goes him back in the ring now. Neville throwing Kenny Omega into the corner. These two men have gone competitive, but we haven't seen their biggest moves be struck yet. We haven't seen Rings of Saturn. We haven't seen One Winged Angel. Neville again sending Omega into the turnbuckle. Oh, God. Don't let his height fool you. Neville is pound for pound one of the toughest guys on ECW. Make no mistake about it. But when he does something like that, you have got to just be taken aback by it. But even further taken aback by that you can be by Kenny Omega still kicking out as early as he is. Omega sweeps the leg away there and takes himself to the top rope now. What will Omega look for? Oh, double foot stomp into the chest. Akin to coup de grace. The move that cost him the Intercontinental title. But Neville kicked out of it. Oh, but will he kick out of this? From seemingly out of the blue. One winged angel. 1, 2. Oh, Neville kicked out. And Omega is shocked. And Neville now still going in this one. Snap suplex, he got it. Quick to move over there into the cover. And a count that follows, but still an early kick out by Kenny. Neville, though, getting a little bit cocky right now, though I wouldn't. You only just escaped that one-winged angel. Standing corkscrew moonsault, though. How do you do something like that? I have absolutely no idea. Counter, though. Oh, if the one-winged angel wasn't going to finish it, this will be trigger. 1, 2. Oh, Neville kicked out again. This is just like when Neville tried to become #1 contender for the ECW title. Exactly like it. It took 5 finishes from AJ Styles to finish it. Kenny Omega's throwing his big move so far at Neville, and he fights on. Kicking the gut there by Neville now. Into the turnbuckle we go. He has something dangerous in mind. You know that's going to be the case when it comes to Neville. I admire him for doing this on his own as well. No British Empire at ringside. No distractions by them either. Neville wants to win this by himself. Superplex. He got all of it. but slow to pull himself to his feet. The fatigue really setting in this matchup. Cover on Kenny now. Oh my goodness. Kicked out at the count of 0. Neville's going to take it up high. Is Neville feeling that red arrow maybe? He is, and he got it! Red arrow to Omega. 1, 2, Kenny Omega kicked out. Oh my god, these two men are absolutely incredible. How they survive everything that they've withstood in this matchup is beyond me. But they seem to find a way. Omega moved out of the way of that 450 and is going at a rate of knots now. Turns him round. Oh, that's not what he wants. Decided at the last minute that wasn't it. Cross-legged brainbuster. And this will lead Omega into that final blow. But Neville stuffs it. He wanted to swing him around for that one-winged angel. Neville did his best to counter it. Irish whip now by Neville. Oh, what a super kick to drill him in the gut with. Drill him in the gut with, drill him in the jawline with. Omega now. A little bit out of it after that, but Neville really showing the fatigue. Neville up on that second rope. Look for that splash. Missed it. Omega could capitalize from that here. Hard shot to bring them to the outside once again. Not sure if Omega wants to be out here though. He can smell victory in that ring. Oh, look at the strength now of Kenny Omega. Deadlift gut wrench powerbomb. But what more does Omega go for in this one to try and close it out? Knee in the gut. Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. And Omega now feels it again. One-winged angel can wait. V-trigger. Is this the one to finish off Neville? No. Oh my god, Omega has to be completely flustered at this point. He's tried everything. He has tried everything. 3 finishes later. 3 big moves later. And still, Neville is not only standing, but fighting. Hurricanrana flips through into the cover. Oh, Omega counters back there into a quick cover of his own. Will it be enough? It will not. And Neville still stuffing whatever Omega hopes for. Forearm in the face. Into the turnbuckle goes the cleaner. Oh, but a big time DDT absolutely drilled him there. Omega now in position, up on the shoulders, looking for and will get Kreutz Wrath. But the fatigue for Omega sets in as well. Does he have it in him? Does he have it in him to try and close this one out? Neville sent around. Omega hopes he does. One-winged angel. 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega finally put away Neville. And as I look to my left, I see Rollins applauding. Rollins was impressed by that. I was impressed by that. That's how you make a statement on your ECW debut. That is why Kenny Omega was the biggest pick. That is why ECW won the draft. And that is why the ECW champion is taking a good look at his title and then to Omega. Look, I'm only making assumptions, but we can hope. We can hope. There's a long way to go until the ECW pay-per-view. Still 5 ECWs between now and then. But let's all take a moment to soak in the fact we've got the best roster. We've got the best talent. We've got the best champion. We had the best draft pick. Kenny Omega wins here tonight. Kyle O'Reilly back in action. Switchblade Jay White makes his debut. Kurt Angle and Cedric Alexander from NXT. explain to us how we didn't have show of the week. That'll end this episode of Universe. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, guys. And ta-ra.